Thank you all for being here. I apologize for being tardy. I know it's hot. We are still in the midst of a pandemic, and as this global pandemic has shut down cities all over the world, it has not halted the American pandemic of racism and abuses of power by the criminal justice system. As uncomfortable as this is for me to be in the crosshairs of any law enforcement, I can breathe. I have an opportunity to fight this injustice. Many like me did not have that luxury. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and so many countless more did not have the blessing I have today. I am blessed, and I will use my voice to continue to lift up their names and call out the abusive police practices and those district attorneys that ignore their murders. This is not going to distract me from this moment, this momentum, and this movement that is occurring in this country and in this city. I know that Leon Cannizzaro must be nervous. I know that Leon Cannizzaro is desperate because his day and prosecutors like him, their time is up. And it is time for him and others like him to move on. No problem. As I said, it is time, just like the billboard says, for Leon Cannizzaro to move on. When I first said I was going to run for district attorney in 2017, I became a target of law enforcement. I became a target of Leon Cannizzaro. And they started to investigate a person, hoping to find a crime. First, I received threats from the DA's political consultant and his henchman, Billy Schultz. After receiving those threats, both text and verbal, they then brought in a former client serving a life sentence in Angola and brought him into the district attorney's office on South White Street and offered to reduce his life sentence if he would say anything negative about me, if he would take the stand about anything about me. Then they aggressively questioned and pushed my college roommate about an airport contract that a company he worked for got. Now, I guess they dug a little further and realized the city council has absolutely nothing to do with airport contracts. Then they questioned a contractor who did work at my former home. They questioned my phone network computer company at my law firm. And I'm not just talking about one or two questions, do you know Jason? Aggressively questioning for hours, asking for documentation. These so-called investigations produced absolutely no evidence of any wrongdoing on anyone's fault, on anyone's part. And these are just the investigations that I know about. So now I find myself in the middle of a tax investigation. Even though I have filed all of my tax returns and I have not been the subject of a single civil audit, and I have paid all of the taxes that my accountant told me to pay. What this really is the beginning of Leon Cannizzaro's re-election campaign and the never-ending investigation of a person, not the investigation of a crime. And if a taxpayer commits a crime when their tax preparer makes a mistake, then half of America would be in trouble today. I hired someone who misrepresented himself as a CPA for almost 40 years. that is under investigation by the IRS that counted me as a victim along with hundreds of other people. I paid the CPA to prepare my tax returns, and then I filed the returns that he prepared. That is the extent of this so-called tax investigation. And this is not a crime. It is time for Leon Cannizzaro to move on, just like it is time for Donald Trump to move on. This is not investigations of criminal activity. This is old school, dirty New Orleans politics that has held this city back for too long. But all you all need to do is look at your own past news stories, and you can see that prosecutorial overreach is a reoccurring theme for this district attorney. Instead of screening cases properly and notifying NOPD leadership of bad actors in the police department, like this current issue with the 8th District Task Force, he's been covering it up and fighting it and defending it on appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court. Instead of protecting survivors of domestic violence and rape, he's been jailing them to compel their testimony. Instead of following the law that he is sworn to uphold, he's been using bogus subpoenas to victimize innocent citizens. So it should be no surprise, and I should not be surprised, that he is using his vast resources and powers to investigate a political rival. What's going on in this country right now, and this attack on me, makes me only want to run for DA even more. The truth will absolutely come out. The evidence and facts are 100% on my side, and I, regardless of what other dirty trick he comes up with between now and November, I will not stop fighting, and I will not stop speaking truth to power. Thank you.